Hey, everybody. This is Kelly Jackson with TruthWire News. I am trying out my brand spanking new live stream through StreamYard. I am simultaneously streaming to my YouTube channel as well as Facebook. So hopefully you are seeing this on both platforms. I wanted to pop in here since it's been a minute, but there's been a lot of stuff going on. So I thought I would jump in here and talk about the biggest news in the last several days, which is Jason Golden resigning as superintendent of schools in Williamson County. Not sure how many of you know this. He's been with the district. I'm not sure how many total years he's been with the district, but he worked for the district when Mike Looney, who was horrible, when Mike Looney was the superintendent, he was, I believe, the school district's general counsel or the attorney. And from what I understand, when Looney left, he all but commanded the board to make Jason Golden the new superintendent. That's alleged. Don't know if it's true, but I don't think there was a search. So this was in, I think, 19. So it was before COVID, but maybe it kind of worked out because if COVID had hit and we were in the middle of a search for a superintendent of schools, that would have been a bad situation too. We're going to just start with this announcement. Everybody would have seen this by now. FYI, I knew about 15 minutes after he had submitted his resignation that he resigned. So I was the one who broke the story. Not sure how many people saw my reporting first, but I was accused on the Nolensville 411 of spreading fake news. And that's only simply because I was the one that was the first to do it. So here we are. Those people owe me an apology. WCS Superintendent Jason Golden announced in a message to staff on June 23rd that he will be stepping down from his role as leader of the district. Everyone, I am writing to share that I will be stepping down from my role as superintendent. This decision was not an easy one. I have truly valued my time in this district and the opportunity to work alongside such dedicated, passionate, and talented educators and staff. Together, we have made meaningful progress on behalf of our students, and I will always be grateful for the relationships we have built and the work we have accomplished. Quite frankly, I feel like with his background, and if you don't know, he has a math degree. And then, of course, he's an attorney. I think he got his JD at Vanderbilt. I feel like for a guy with a math degree and a JD, this is a great role for him. I've never felt like he was a good fit for superintendent for various reasons. But so from what I understand, it's effective, I think, August 7th. So there it is. That was the announcement. Now, here's the thing that I wanted to address. Here's what happened. And you'd have to go back and watch the June board meeting. But what I've done is I've collected the announcements from as many of the board that I can find that addressed this announcement on their Facebook page, except for Jay Galbreath, because it looks like Jay Galbreath blocked me. So I can't see his. I had to have somebody send me screenshots of what he wrote, and I'll read it to you. He went after Margie Johnson, and he went after Donna Clements. Ironically, he went after Donna for something that he had himself done. But of course, when he did it, it was fine. When she does it, he has criticism. But that's just Jay. And, these are all my opinions, and I get to have them. Let's start with Claire. Not usually a huge fan, but she was very gracious in these comments that she made. And we are going to read those real quickly. She said, Superintendent Golden has submitted his resignation. Jason has given years of dedicated service to Williamson County Schools, and his commitment to the students and families of this community deserves our genuine gratitude. I wish him every success in his next chapter. I won't pretend that the circumstances surrounding this moment aren't complicated. I don't know what she means by that entirely, but apparently it alludes to there being some tension, obviously. But here's what I believe. A hard moment is still an opportunity. The The board has an obligation to meet it as one. Williamson County Schools is one of the highest performing districts in Tennessee. That doesn't happen by accident, and it doesn't happen because any one person, of any one person. It happens because of dedicated parents, teachers, staff, the kids people who show up every day. And she talks about how she's committed to the search process and that, the school board will conduct a thoughtful, deliberate search. I appreciate that coming from her. Another one I went and looked at, Josh Brown. He didn't say anything. For being the chair of the board, of the school board, Josh said nothing. Josh had nothing to say, as you can see. There's nothing here. He said nothing. No announcement at all. I tried to find as many board members' Facebook pages as I could that had a comment, but he didn't have really anything to say. So Margie said, I was surprised when I received the email to learn of Superintendent Golden's resignation. I want to express my sincere gratitude for his years of dedicated service. Throughout his tenure, he has worked to support our students. I also respect the courage it takes to make a decision that is best for oneself. I mean, she's very gracious. You can go in and you can read all of Margie's comments as we move forward. I have complete confidence in the outstanding educators, administrators, and staff of Williamson County Schools. So go to Margie's page. You can see her comments there. Very gracious. What happened at the school board meeting this past Monday, I think it was the 15th. What happened, and you can go back, I recommend everybody go back, watch the meeting, because what happened is Superintendent Golden requested a 1-year extension on his contract, which, by the way, well, first let me tell you what happened. Margie motioned in the meeting for a postponement on the extension, voting on the extension, to wait for the school board members that were going to be joining the new school board after August. There's going to be, I think, 5 or 6 new school board members. And actually, I don't think there will be any of the school board left that were there when I came here with our kids. I think the last members of what's left of the old school board are Dan Cash, Eric Welch, and Jay Galbreath. And they've decided not to run again. They're stepping away from the board, which I won't say I'm unhappy about that, because I'm not. But what happened is Margie asked to postpone that vote until the new school board members joined the board. And that was, of course, swatted down. 9 members voted against that. Donna abstained, and then Tony and Margie voted for it. Since that motion was voted down, they went ahead and voted on the contract extension, and the same 9 members of the school board voted yes. And again, Donna abstained, and Margie and Tony voted no. Let me go to what Eric Welch and Jay Galbreath both said. The board has received notice from Superintendent Golden that he has decided to step down as superintendent of Williamson County Schools. He was offered a position as Associate Director for Finance, Administration, and Legal Services within the Franklin Special School District and has accepted. The toxic elements and individuals that refused to support our superintendent, despite leading the district to the highest academic achievement and growth scores in the state, now own whatever comes next. So clearly, in my opinion, that was pointed probably mostly at Margie, probably Donna, maybe Claire, depending on, what that meant, that sort of allusion to maybe something being complicated or difficult time, that he's stepping away. But let me show you the reason why they have a different opinion than Eric Welch does. I'm going to go ahead and read you some of Jay Galbraith's ridiculous comments. I had to have them sent to me. Monday night, the Williamson County Schools Board, well, let me just show you. See how I can Google him and find it? But when I click on it, content isn't available right now. And I had somebody check for me to see if it was still posted, and it is. and it shows that I follow him, but apparently he has blocked me. He just had some asinine things to say about Donna and Margie, about how they voted on Superintendent Golden's contract. And then he goes into this diatribe about Monday night's vote and how it didn't happen in isolation. It's part of a pattern that he's watched develop on this board and an undercurrent by several of the board members that look for any reason to get rid of Golden. And I mean, he basically builds this whole case of how it sounds like, you know, he was conspired against and really picked on. I'm going to let you go to Jay's page and read all of his comments. They're all up there. Okay. Hopefully you can see it and hopefully it's big enough. But what you need to see here is out of the highest number is 5. Okay. So let me see if I can make this bigger. Yeah, I can make this bigger. So there's all these goals. Okay, there's all these goals: salary study, corporate community sponsorship, screen time committee. I mean, there's all of these goals. Okay, student achievement, board relations, community relationships, staff and personal relationships. And this is a cumulative score. Okay, 5 being the highest. Okay. So up here at the top, you'll notice consistently across all categories, there are, you know, at least 2, sometimes 3, but there were 2 board members that gave Jason Golden all 5s on each area of his evaluation. He clearly got higher scores from the entire board, with the exception of whoever gave him that 2, for student achievement. He got middle of the road scores because I know that there have been issues when there have been requests made to the district for some of the information some of the board members have asked for. They have to fight tooth, nail, and claw to get it, if they get it at all. You have to ask over and over and over again. So that's problematic. So you're getting a 3.21, but there were 2 board members that gave him all 5s with everything. And they were Drayson Beasley and Eric Welch. Now, if those 2 board members, which by the way, neither one of them are coming back next year. Unfortunately, Drayson Beasley is probably going to be sitting on our county commission. I don't think I ever heard him say like 2 words the entire time he sat on the school board, at least not in meetings or in work sessions, maybe on occasion, but for the most part, he didn't seem to contribute a whole lot based on my observation. But now he's moving on to the county commission. He's going to be Brian Clifford's buddy over there, and his partner over in, what is it, D12. So yay for you, D12. But I mean, his overall final score was a 3.29. Let me make sure y'all can really see that. 3.29, okay? If you want to understand the reason why he probably decided now is a good time to just go ahead and go and move into another role, this is my speculation. I don't have any inside information and I'm not asserting anything as fact. I am just making an observation and formulating an opinion based on 10 years in this district and everything that I've seen. And my assumption is that because of this, the dude makes $355,000 a year, and he's not even hitting a 4 in an overall score. So clearly, you know, I know that Eric Welch wants to point fingers at Donna Clements and Margie Johnson and maybe even Tony Bostic, even though he didn't say that out loud. Jay Galbreath too. Because he voted with Margie. But there's more than those 3 that see issues with Golden's performance. All you've got to do is look at this summary page. You just look at all of the 2s, 3s, and 4s, especially the 2s and 3s. Look at this one, facilities and HR. I mean, it's mostly 2s and 3s. You can't you can't overcome that. Look at all the twos right here with community relationships. And if they're talking about how he communicates with the community, I'm assuming that that's what they mean. I can tell you all the frustrated parents that I've spoken to when they've said, hey, I've sent an email, and what he does, I've dealt with it myself. When I've sent him an email, I get this circular reasoning back that justifies whatever decision it was that they made. It's like, well, you're just not smart enough to understand what it is that I understand. I mean, it's patronizing. So my assumption here is, that is why he probably decided, maybe now's a good time to 3.29. I don't think that's worth the second highest salary in the state of Tennessee for a superintendent. And quite frankly, we've been waiting for this day, a lot of us parents, for the last 5 or 6 years. But the school board would never just, let him go and give him his severance, which that's the other thing I wanted to address, is that there's been some scuttlebutt on the socials about whether or not he's going to be getting a severance. He is not getting a 24-month severance. I think the 2-year severance would have been like $800,000. Say they did decide to let him go without cause, just because, that would have been almost $1 million. So there's that. And I think the reason that it would have been a good idea to maybe wait on voting on that contract, because if you go into the agenda and you look at the contract, it's got old language in it. Like, it doesn't have the right salary, and there are things in that contract that are not up to date. So why would you extend a contract that isn't even up to date? But that's par for the course in Williamson County. I hate to say that. I mean, you look at how the mayor has run some things with expired contracts and paying out on expired contracts. Maybe it's just how we operate here in Williamson County. I don't know. But we can do better, for criminy sakes. We are the wealthiest county in the state, and these schools are our beachfront property. I mean, the school district gets 70% of the nearly $1 billion budget that Williamson County receives, and 30%. There's only 30% left for things like public safety. Granted, we do live in Williamson County. It's not Davidson or Shelby, where all the crime happens. But still, I happen to know that because of the fact that we have such wealth in our county, the majority of the crime happens because the people from the other counties come here and commit the crime. So if you're safe, it's because of the good job that our sheriff is doing with the resources that he actually gets, that he has to fight tooth, nail, and claw for, because the rest of the county runs on what's left. The school district gets 70%. That's something like, I think this last year, it was something like $560 million, over $500 million. And they were still coming back and asking for $10 million more so that they could give the teachers raises. How about you take that $500 million or over $500 million and you prioritize? Again, I wrote an article, go read it. There was a compensation study done, and the compensation study concluded maybe it's not that we don't have enough money, it's how they use the money that is the problem. And if we want to retain our more experienced teachers, we've got to start paying them at the same level that surrounding districts are paying. Because I'm telling you, my kids are in WCS. I have one left, and he's a senior. And over the last 4 years, I've watched surrounding counties poach some of our best, most experienced teachers and administrators because they get paid more, and you got to live. So why wouldn't you go somewhere where they're going to, give you what you're worth? We've got to make those changes. So I think, quite frankly, this is a really good opportunity for us. Hopefully the school board, it seems like they're going to, in good faith, they're going to go out and look for a new school superintendent. And I would encourage parents to contact your board member and let them know that you want to be kept in the loop of the process and what's going on and who they're looking at so that we have a say. Back in 1992, the state of Tennessee decided to make the superintendent an appointed position instead of an elected one. So unfortunately, that means that the superintendents of all the school districts, all they've really got to do is keep, let's see, we have 12 school board members. They've just got to keep 7 school board members happy to keep their job, instead of proving to hundreds of thousands of parents that they're making a difference and educating their children. I personally think it should go back to being an elected position, but that would require our General Assembly, changing some legislation, which, I mean, we've got priorities, so I don't know if that would be one of them. But anyway, I just wanted to sort of just talk about this and talk about what the possible reasons were. Maybe it's not because of a toxic environment like Eric Welch is alluding to, or Jay Galbreath is alluding to. They're clearly pointing fingers at other board members when in reality, I just showed you the scores. And he also knows that there are going to be new board members coming in. If the Lord is good to us, Elliot Franklin will be replacing Eric Welch. And I'm telling you, if nothing else happens, the fact that we would get such a conservative school board member replacing one of the biggest liberals that sits on the school board, I don't care what he votes in the primary, he's a liberal. That by itself is a huge win. And I'm looking forward to seeing my friend Elliot Franklin sitting on the school board this coming fall. So anyway, just wanted to pop in here and share some of that with you. I think it's a good move. I can't blame the school board for feeling that way. And I'm glad it finally happened. And I'm glad Jason Golden sort of, decided it was a good move for him as well. So I wish him well. I'm glad that he's going to be in FSSD and not at Williamson County Schools anymore. So anyway, truthwirenews.com. You can go in there and subscribe. And I'm streaming this to my YouTube channel. So TruthWire also has a YouTube channel. And of course, I jump in here and do these lives on occasion. Usually I'm in my car. Tonight I'm sitting at my desk because I have StreamYard. So why not? Why not kill 2 birds with 1 stone? Anyway, love you guys. Pop in over at truthwirenews.com. See me over there. And I will catch you very soon. And if you have any questions or you want to pop over to my website and support me, I could certainly use the support. So love you. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.